I'm lucky.
Yeah, I
Very
feel
lucky.
like DJ is really good at that stuff. I remember one time when we were first dating, not DJ and I, but Brett and I. um,
I was gonna say, oh, this is news to me.
um, I had made like a comment, like just trying to be cool, like, yeah, I don't need flowers, like they just die. And,
Oh boy,
it's a waste of money. You don't need you don't need to give me flowers.
you haven't gotten any sense, have you?
And then I think I've gotten like maybe a couple of flowers since then, and it's been 8 years. And I'm like, why don't you ever get me flowers? He's like, well, you said you don't like them. And I'm like,
so he listened to that.
I'm like, so you did listen. But like, so I remember one time for Valentine's Day, instead of flowers, he got me like a little rose bush. And it was like,
hey,
it never bloomed.
That's good.
It never bloomed, though.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of She's Got It Together. I'm your host, Jessica.
And I'm Samantha. Each week, we peel back the curtain on what it really looks like to have it together.
From the messy moments to the milestones, we're here to share it all.
So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's dive into today's topic.
Right. Today, we are going to be talking about romance. Ooh. And in particular, post-children romance, which is a lot different than the early days, I suppose, when you didn't have any interruptions and you could get hot and heavy whenever you wanted.
Ooh, make me blush here.
All right. So, Sam, since you are the newest mother, yes, I want you to start here, and I want you to tell us what is like the number one challenge right now that you and Brett face when it comes to keeping this alive, keeping this side of your relationship alive.
I feel like one is just like time. I feel like, yes, you can like talk about making time for each other and it's important, and it is, but actually like making the time to like go on a date night or, just have that one-on-one time together. Like by the end of the day, you're just both tired and you kind of just want like to like relax and just like de-stress. Yeah. And you have like your own way of doing that. Like once Bo goes to bed, like Brett and I take turns putting him to bed every night. And half the time, like, Brett will maybe come sit on the couch with me for, a little bit, but we're either, like, both on our phones or I'm watching a show that I want to watch, and then he's on his phone, and then he goes and takes a shower and, like, goes in the room and is, like, on his phone, and that's kind of, like, his time. And then I enjoy my time, like, watching my show and just kind of, like, having my tea or whatever. And then, like, I'll go in the room later and, like, sometimes he's sleeping, sometimes he's not. But then it's, like, he might, like, roll over and I'm like, oh, no, I'm tired now. Yeah. Like, I'm going to bed now. I was out there.
Missed the boat.
Now I don't want to do that. But it's just, like, I remember after Bo was born, it takes time for you to, like, want to like go out again and like leave your baby and stuff like that. And where we are, like, we don't have a ton of help here in town. Like my mom lives like our mom lives 2.5 hours away. And then Brett's parents live about an hour away. And like my sister's here, but like she has her own kid. And so it's hard to find like a babysitter that you trust, because I just don't want to go out and find some random person to watch my kid like that I don't know. And so I'm like, I'm fine just being home, or we would just take him with us. But then we had a friend's wedding in June. Like Brett was born. Bo was born in October, and then our friend was getting married in June, at the end of June. And we're like, okay, well, we have to go. So Brett's mom came to town and watched Bo. And when we were getting ready and we went to the wedding, and we're like, this is our, like, first time alone in I don't know how long. Like, it was just, like, we were there. We're like, what do we do? Like, we have all this time. Like, and I was breastfeeding, and I was like, I can actually, like, drink a little bit because I don't have to feed him. And I'm like, what do we do? Like, I remember we got there, we went to the wedding, it was a beautiful wedding, and then we were sitting at the table at the reception, and the other people weren't there yet, and I was just like twiddling my thumbs, like, what do we do? I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm just sitting here. Like, the last 8 months, like, you can't just sit around, and you're just like, what is going on? What do I do? And then you're like, what do we talk about other than the baby? Because we're just talking about the baby. And I'm like, I don't know how to have a conversation with you anymore. Like, we have nothing else to talk about other than Bo. And it was just like this, like, thing where you're like, it's a little awkward. You're almost like on your first date again. And you're like, but this is also really fun because we just kind of reconnected again. And you didn't necessarily realize, like, how far apart you can, like, drift during, like, that new parent time. And we're like, we got to keep doing this. Like, we should just make a date night every month. We've just got to do it. And then I remember, like, the next day, like, we were like, oh, God, that was great. It was so good to get out. And, like, we love Bo, but it was great to have some time alone. And then, God, I don't even know. I think it was months and months and months later that we actually did, like, something else alone. And it was another, like, event that we couldn't take him to or something. We never, like, were like, hey, I know what it was. Him and Brett actually went and got a pedicure with me. He's probably going to kill me for telling this, but we had his brother's wedding. I know, it's big news. We had his brother's wedding in San Diego, and I wanted to go get a pedicure, and I was like, just come with me. Like, I've been trying to get him to go. And he's like, okay, fine. So he goes with me, and my friend Sarah watched Bo for us for like an hour and a half. But that was our other time, like September. It was like, it was months later that we actually did something together. And I'm like, so how'd you like the pedicure? And he's like, actually, it was really great. So any men out there, pedicures are great. He loved getting the pedicure.
Oh, that's hilarious.
His feet never looked better. But it is important to make that time. Nice. It's hard, but you have to just try to be more conscious of it. And I know Brett and I need to get better at it, but finding, like, a babysitter or someone that can, like, maybe like once a month have like a scheduled day, like every Thursday or every Friday, like, of the month, not every Thursday, but like every third Thursday or something of the month, have a babysitter come and just, like, go to dinner, or if you don't want to spend money, go for a walk, or just do something together, because you don't realize how far you're kind of, like, drifting apart because you're just so focused on being a parent.
Yeah, you definitely need to do something. But you know what gets me is the scheduling. Like, I want to do it when I want to do it.
Right. I think that's the problem.
Mm-hmm. I guess I don't, I mean, it's not that I want to be spontaneous. It's just if I'm in the mood, or if we're in the mood and it's like a great day, I want to go do something. I don't want to have to say, okay, it's Thursday, it's time.
Let me try to get a babysitter.
Yeah,
Who's available?
It's like this is it's just like, this is what we have to do tonight.
It's a little different because you've got Hayden now that can kind of watch Taylor.
We have a babysitter.
So that's definitely. Totally, like, great for you guys, because I think once your kids get older like that and a sibling can watch the other kids, you guys could
makes a big difference.
Be a little bit more spontaneous. I feel like with Bo being, like, 14 months, we can't really be spontaneous unless, right. You know, like right now, my mom's in town watching Bo while I'm doing this. Be like, hey, do you care if Brett and I go out to dinner tonight or something? You know, like, but when she's here, like, I want to spend time with her too. But it's like, I know she wouldn't mind, but it's like, you know, you just, that would be as spontaneous, I think, as we get at this point.
There's definitely phases. I think that is another good point, that there's phases just based on, I mean, the age of your marriage and the age of your children.
Yeah.
I mean, having a new baby at home. I mean, gosh, going back to when Hayden was first born, our first getaway, she was 6 weeks old, and we tried to go away to Garland for our anniversary.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it was horrible. Like, I cried. It was so
6
bad.
Weeks. Did you already have your, like, appointment where you got the all clear, or no?
I don't know. I can't remember that far back, but we, you know, of course, tried to be intimate, and it wasn't an issue, but it was an emotional issue. Like, I just couldn't. Mm-hmm. I was a wreck. I couldn't. I mean,
you're just
I think
thinking about your child and like, what are they
it was
doing?
so bad.
Like, are they okay? And I feel like 6 weeks, like you're still like you're still, your hormones and everything are like still getting back to normal. I know for me, it took me a long time to like get back to somewhat normal, and I feel like I'm still not normal. And I know I personally, I was not, I know like everyone's like, oh yeah, 6 weeks and like then you can like, you know, be intimate again. I was not ready to even be intimate after 6 weeks. I'm sorry, I am not ready for that. I am tired. That's not on my mind. Like, I am not even in the mood for that, and that's okay, because I feel like everyone's like, oh yeah, 6 weeks, you got the all clear, honey. Okay. I'm like, oh ho ho, no, honey. I'm like, I am not ready yet, so just hold your horses. All right, you've been waiting a while, but you can wait some more. You're okay.
Yeah, it was traumatic. I mean, I think the best part of it was they had a pig roast while we were there, and that was great. But I mean, and we got massages.
Okay.
I know,
that's nice.
it did.
I'm sure the massage was good. It out all the emotions or something.
No, the problem was, I think it was a husband and wife that did these there. So of course I couldn't have DJ with a male masseuse. So I had to take the older man, and DJ that was very awkward. Oh, well, no, I didn't like it. It was just weird. Yeah. So it was an uncomfortable massage. It was an
I've only
uncomfortable
had
everything.
One massage, and it was a woman, and I don't think I would necessarily feel comfortable with some old man rubbing on me either. So, especially like
with your husband right next to you,
and you just,
I mean, it was a couple's massage.
But still, I know I could. I would probably have made Brett have the man. I'd be like, Brett, take the man, or we're out of here. Sorry. Or get me another woman. I mean.
Oh, it was all just something. But
you just weren't ready. You just weren't ready to leave.
Nope.
But, I mean.
So
you didn't leave 6 weeks after you had Taylor then, I'm sure.
No, we waited until, 4 months? We went to Disney.
Yeah, well, I mean,
remember that?
I was 3 months. I was 3 months after Bo, because we went to Florida for that work trip. So that was the first time I left Bo, was like at 3 months.
3 months?
And that was hard. Mm-hmm.
No, he was older than that.
No, he was 3 months.
You had
Oh, no, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was older. I think he was 6 months.
Why do I think he was 3 months?
I don't know. I think you said last time we went for 3 months.
Did I?
You did.
Oh my God. Okay. Well,
maybe you should explain the lack of brain power right now.
Okay. So the reason I look like this, if you can see me, I have no makeup on, I'm in my pajamas, and I have no brain, is because I am pregnant again. With our second, I am almost 9 weeks, and I have no brain. I'm exhausted. I'm a little nauseous. And when we did our get to know you, I was pregnant. I just hadn't told anybody yet. And Jess had asked me if, we were, how many kids we wanted, or were we going to have any more or whatever. And I was actually pregnant. And I was just kind of like, oh, I don't know. We'll see,
Totally blew me off.
If I make no sense the next, 9 months, 8 months, however much longer it's going to be, it's because I am pregnant. So yeah, Bo was 6 months the first time I left, not 3.
Okay, now that we have that all cleared up. Yeah. Yes. So, okay, we've kind of touched on leaving, but what about those moments at home? One of the things that I had said earlier about, I think that this whole romance bit goes in phases based on, your marriage age, and then also your kids' age. So, I mean, obviously you're going to be intimate when your kids are home. Like, right. It's just part of the package.
Life. Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is. It is how life is created. Without it, we would not be here.
That is how this new life was created. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad. But yes, that is how this new life that is in my belly has been created.
And guess what? Bo was probably home for it.
Well, yes, he was. In fact, fun fact, Schmiggy family. That's my husband's last name. My last name. I'm pretty sure that this new baby was conceived over Thanksgiving when we were together with his family. Because, we've been trying. So, like, you have a very small window.
Yeah.
And you just got to do it when you got to do it if you want to have a baby. So, we had to do it over Thanksgiving, and his family was around. But it's like, what are you going to do? You're trying to build your family. You got to do what's necessary. But that's the thing with Bo, at least, like, he's not going to just, like, accidentally, like, walk in on Brett and I. He's in his crib. He can't. Right. I mean, he's starting to walk he when he chooses to. He can. He just doesn't always
He can walk. He's just a stinker.
Yeah. But it's like, we're not worried about him, like, walking in on us or anything. So, I mean, when they're younger, you have a little bit more freedom in that aspect. You're more tired. They're waking up a little more often. And, like, you don't necessarily have as many windows of time. But, like, you don't have to worry about them so much. But for you, it's definitely different because you have two older kids that are just always around.
But the thing is, I think we have passed what I would have called the worst stage for this, because that in-between stage is when they're more walking in.
They just don't have boundaries.
Interrupting. They don't have boundaries. Taylor still is in that no boundary a little bit. She knows, but she's just a
She's just a little nosy. She wants to know what's going on.
She knows what's going on, I think. She just likes to push those boundaries and push those buttons. But it's like the bathroom, like no mom can go to the bathroom without somebody knocking at the door.
Yeah.
I swear, when
20 minutes
I walk
ago, Bo's
in,
like banging on the door. Like, let me in.
I walk in the bathroom. She hasn't talked to me all day, but I go to the bathroom. Right. She's right there. She knows.
I wonder what it is. It's like they know you can't get away. They know you're there.
It's like the sign. It lights
get
up.
Away. You're locked in.
But yeah, so she's right that, I mean, I don't worry too much, but I mean, yes, there used to be a like, Mom, what's that noise? Mom, what's hitting the wall? Like, oh my God.
Are you okay? What was that?
What was that? Yeah. I mean, like, seriously,
your dad's just helping me move something.
Yes. Or we shut the door. Why did you shut the door?
Why is your door locked? Let me in.
Yeah, and she's like shaking it. I'm like, oh my goodness. Or the other thing was like in the middle of the day, if we snuck away on the weekend or something, it's like we'd have to like only one of us answer her. Why are you in there together? Or like the shower or something. It's like
I'm helping
you both to the bathroom. Mother. Like, oh my gosh, you have to like, well, where's Mom? Well, maybe she ran to the store.
Well, it's just so funny how you have to like really like at whatever ages, like when they become more aware,
like, I feel like it's like that. I don't know, like 6 to 10. I feel like is the age, and that's why Taylor's almost out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But and then after that, it's like enough to just let it be. Like, just let it be.
Well, and the thing is, too, it's like, it's not like we're like sex crazed animals that are just like sneaking off all the time to like be intimate. You're actually just like trying to spend like some time with your significant other, because like you don't get a lot of time or opportunities, and you're just like, you know what? Okay, the kids are outside playing or whatever, and you're just like,
good.
Okay.
Watch a movie, like, we're going to just sneak away
because it's
for
not
a
like
minute.
you can just, like, always do it, like, when you are going to bed. In fact, you're just, like, I'm tired.
By that time,
I want to go
tired.
to bed. It's been all day. You're like, I don't want to do that. I have no desire. And then it's like, like, there's just all these, like, no's. And you're just, and I know I'm guilty of that, too. I'm just like, I don't want to. But then it's like.
And you know what? At bedtime, like, in our house, the way our house is set up, all the bedrooms are at one end. Right. So that means everybody's right there. So at least, like we can kind of make it a little bit more discreet if they're in the living room at the other end of the house, or they're, wherever outside.
It's just amazing, because then like eventually like your kids are out of the house, and then you have the opportunities, but then it's like, okay, well, we can really do it whenever we want. So do we have to do it right anymore. Now?
Yeah,
the danger's gone. The danger's gone. The thrill is over. No.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think I ever walked in on mom and dad having.
I did once.
There were like a few incidents where I like maybe heard something. Sorry, mom. Like a squeak or something. Because the computer room like was no. No. The computer room was like right under their bedroom. And I remember like I snuck down there one night because we were supposed to be off at like 10 or whatever and go to bed. But Sid and I would sometimes sneak down there at night because there was like a boy you wanted to talk to, and they were getting, on AIM right when you had to get off. And so then I would sneak down there, and I remember one night it was just like, I'm like,
is there a mouse in the house?
I'm like, oh my God. And I was older at this point. I was in like high school or something. So like I knew probably like what was going on. But I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed.
That just ruined the moment for me.
But I mean, funny. I never had any traumatic moments of anything. So
no, mine was when we lived on Court Street when I was little. You guys were babies, and I was cold, and because we upstairs in the bedrooms, or all the bedrooms were upstairs, and I walked around trying to get the blanket from the big cabinet right there, because the bathroom and the cabinet was right there, and they had the TV on, and there was lots of shadows happening, and it was. I went back to bed, and I just stayed cold.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? I really don't need that blanket.
It was all too much.
It's like something's going on. I don't know what's going on, but
I was probably 10 at that point. Yeah. So like,
you're just like,
no, thank you. I'm good. Oh my goodness. That's funny. But
so aside from that, what are like some simple, like just like gestures that you can do to keep the romance alive? Like, we don't necessarily have to go out on like a date night all the time, but like what are just some like little things that you can do throughout like the day that just kind of are like, you know what, I love you, I'm thinking about you, kind of thing?
Well, that's a funny question. Well, it's not a funny question, but I'd say that just the little taps, little tap on the tush, little love tap, little, just a little kiss here and there. It's just that quick brush, the brush that you probably didn't like in high school.
But see, this is my problem with these little gestures. I don't like being touched a lot, which does not help for my husband, whose like love language is physical touch, and I'm literally like, don't touch me.
Don't touch me.
Because, like, he will do that, and I'm just kind of like, ugh, and I feel bad because it's just like, it's not you, honey. I just really don't feel like being touched right now. And, like, part of it this past year, it was really bad because I was breastfeeding Bo, and I just had a baby on me all the time. I didn't want, I was overstimulated because I don't like being touched anyway. And I have a baby literally touching me 24/7. So like any extra from him was like too much. And I would just like, don't touch me. Like I've been touched out. Don't touch me. And so I'm trying to be better about that.
So
but it's
have
like
him just gaze at you from across the room.
Yeah, just give me
look.
like some puppy dog eyes across the
way.
Give you the
or like
look. write me like a cute little note or something. I like that. See, I don't need to, like physical touch. Just write me a little like
leave you
love
sticky
note.
Notes all over
leave
the
me
house.
A sticky note or something. Or I also like quality time and gifts. Gifts is a love language. Like,
you're
receiving gifts.
I
like gifts.
I like to give gifts. I don't like to receive them.
I see. My idea of like a gift would be like, hey, like I just would really like one day. I don't know how many times I've said this, and he has yet to do it. So I'm hoping if I say it one more. I hope if I say it one more time.
Hope you're listening, Brett.
I just have been like, you know what? I would just love to wake up to like a Starbucks coffee or something, you know, like just like bring me a coffee. I don't need like a big gift. Like I don't need you to buy me jewelry, but just like little some things like that you are thinking of me. Like I can tell you one of my best birthday gifts from him was last year, and I wanted to light candles, you know, at the house, and I kept burning my finger because I had only had matches or
matches,
the like lighter that you gotta like flip, you know, with your thumb. And you know, when you put that in like a deep candle, it doesn't work. Like
burns your nail right off.
Yeah. And so he constantly watched me like burn myself, like trying to light all these candles. And so for my birthday, I opened the card and he's got one of those lighters that have like the little, it's not a big one. It's like a little, you know, like a half
neck on it.
Yeah. And I like almost cried because I was also pregnant. And I was like, oh my God, like you remembered, how sweet. Like, you know, you noticed me burning my thumb all the time trying to open
You were pregnant
candles.
last year?
Oh no, I wasn't last year. Maybe it was the year before that he got it for me. I don't know. I told you, my brain. Lord help me,
boy,
people.
Oh boy.
But anyways, I just remember being like, oh my God, like you listened. That was so cute. You remembered. So like, just like things like that. Like I love that. I love that stuff. But you know, I don't need.
I'd agree. It has meaning behind it. You paid attention.
Yeah.
DJ's really good at that stuff though. So I'm lucky.
Yeah, I feel like DJ is really good at that stuff. I remember one time when we were first dating, not DJ and I, but Brett and I.
I was gonna say, "Ooh, this is news to me."
I had made like a comment, you know, like just trying to be cool, like, yeah, you know, I don't need flowers, like they just die. And, you know, it's a waste of money. You don't need flowers. You don't need to give me flowers.
You haven't gotten any sense, have you?
And then I think I've gotten like maybe a couple of flowers since then, and it's been 8 years. And I'm like, why don't you ever get me flowers? He's like, well, you said you don't like them. And I'm like,
so he listened to that.
I'm like, so you did listen. But like, you know, so I remember one time for Valentine's Day, instead of flowers, he got me like a little rose bush. And it was like, it never bloomed. That's good. It never bloomed, though. It just died. And I don't know where he got it. But it was like a tiny little rose bush. And I'm like,
it's your love plant.
Because I don't, it's like my love fern. You let it die.
You killed it.
You killed it. But, so he got me a rose bush. And I think that's the last flower I've gotten.
Oh my gosh.
Well, because I was trying to be cool.
What does that
like,
mean?
Yeah,
what kind of omen is that? Oh,
I don't
gosh.
know. But, you know, other people get me flowers.
Wow.
Like when I had Bo, I got flowers, and Sid got me flowers.
You know, he
for
should be
Mother's
getting
Day.
you like cheesecake or something. You have a hard time getting cheesecake. That's
you know, all I have wanted for my birthday, because cake's fine, but I'm not, and Brett's also not a big cake person. All I have wanted for my birthday is cheesecake instead of a cake, and I have yet to get it. Whether it's from family or
he's very sensitive about his cheesecake.
I've never gotten cheesecake. I wanted it at our wedding, but our wedding was outside, so it didn't really make sense because it was at our cottage, and like it would have just been way too complicated to keep it cold and whatever. But I really wanted cheesecake at our wedding, and we couldn't have cheesecake.
Brett, get her cheesecake. I mean, that's an easy one. Just get a single slice one random day. Bring her a piece
that's
of
what I'll
cheesecake.
do. I'll go to Meijer and I'll get a slice of cheesecake every once in a while for like a something. So maybe Valentine's Day, just get me some cheesecake. Well, that's
get
the thing.
A heart-shaped cheesecake.
A heart-shaped cheesecake would be lovely. But when I'm pregnant, I crave. I don't want to say crave, but I just like want sweet things. And last time I was pregnant,
have them last time.
I have it. Well, I craved sweet things in the beginning, but I haven't gone yet for the gestational diabetes thing. And I ended up having it last time. And the thing is, I mean, I like sweets, but I don't like eat candy all the time and stuff like that. And I'm usually really good about like limiting my sugar on a daily basis.
But you like carbs because you are a pretzel crazy there. Well,
Pretzels?
It's sugar kind of still as far as your body.
Well, also, like, I feel like when I'm pregnant, I just want, like, sweet and salty things, you know? And those pretzels, I felt like they were somewhat healthier. But then when I found out I had gestational diabetes, I like really had to like reel it in. I couldn't have any like sweets. I could still have the carbs, but you got to have them with like a protein, more veggies. And quite honestly, I only gained 25 pounds with my pregnancy. So I'm like, thank you, gestational diabetes, because I don't know if I would have been able to control myself. No, I would have been now. I just have. No
I would have been
appetite.
interested to see what you ended up with, because Mom gained a ton with me and you. Actually, I think she gained more
we were twins.
with me.
But yeah,
she gained more with me than with you two. Yeah. And I'm very curious to know.
Well, my friends that have been pregnant have gained, 40, 60 pounds, which is pretty normal. And I was on the bottom end. Like, Sid and I both didn't gain very much weight. Sid lost a lot of weight in the beginning because she was so sick. I think she lost like 15 pounds when she was pregnant. But in the beginning, so she didn't end up gaining like a ton of weight because she had like 15 pounds of wiggle room. But I only gained 25 from like start to finish. And I remember when my water broke, I lost like 6 pounds just from my water breaking because I had a ton of fluid and I had to get weighed when I first got there. And I was like, when my water broke, I freaked out because my stomach shrunk so much. I was like, where's the baby? Like, it felt like there was no baby in there anymore because that's how much fluid I had in my stomach. So my stomach, like, got pretty small. I mean, it's not small by any means anymore. But I mean, like, from being pregnant, it, like, went down pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Because I had so much fluid. But I lost, like, 6 pounds just of fluid, and I wasn't even done, like, leaking, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
well, that's
it's just crazy.
Interesting because I gained like 50 pounds with Hayden, and then I lost 30 with Taylor.
Yeah, you lost a lot.
Never gained any with Taylor. I was so sick the whole time.
Yeah. Is this keeping the romance alive, everyone? Just hearing all these fun stories.
You know what? Okay, so let's transition this little bit into, all right, so how do you keep the romance alive after having a child with the changes in your body? I mean, really.
That's actually a really good question because
that's a little segue into the crazy that we just went to.
I personally had a hard time just because one, I just didn't feel ready to like be intimate for a while, and I think it took me a little bit longer to like recover than I thought it would.
Body confidence. I mean,
yeah, and like it was that because I felt like I was pretty thin before. Like I had like a normal body. Like
you
I had
a heavy
I wasn't,
at all
I wasn't
before
heavy.
or after, but it was
I was
like,
not like it was just like you're all of a sudden like your body like I weighed my normal weight, but I look like you feel and look like completely different. Like your like weight's carried differently, and you're like like your boobs are saggy from breastfeeding, but they're big and they're uncomfortable, and you're just kind of like not really like wanting to like be intimate with your partner, even though they love you no matter what and all this stuff. But it's like you are just like insecure about how you're looking and like how you're feeling. And I remember like my like pelvic floor was not like fully recovered and all this stuff, and I was just like I'm afraid it's gonna hurt, like I don't want to do it.
Yeah,
and
that was a fear of mine.
That's what took me so long, is like because it does kind of in the beginning, and you're just like
it takes a little bit.
It definitely took me longer than I thought. I thought like 6 weeks I'll feel fine, and like it wasn't like that for me.
Do you remember what came out of you?
Well, that's what I mean. And I'm like, but do you know what came out of me? Like, I don't want to do that right now. I don't want anything else in there. No, thank you.
Yeah, no. It's
so I think a lot of it is just like a physical and a mental thing, because you're just like not fully, and then like your hormones are going nuts, which doesn't help. You're emotional, like you're insecure, you're crying, you're like going through all these body changes, and like breastfeeding hurts too. So you're just like, oh my God, like I have to deal with that.
Yeah,
I don't want to do anything else.
But
it's a lot. So I can definitely understand like it taking a while to like feel comfortable, or just to feel like you want to be intimate again. And hopefully like your partner understands that. Like Brett was pretty good about it. I mean, obviously like they have needs and whatever, but it's like, you know what? I just birthed a baby.
Too, but
it's like, I just birthed a baby. I carried a baby. Like you will be fine. Like for a while. Like that's not important right now. But again, it is important to have other things that you can do to show them that you love
There's lots
them.
of things.
You know, you don't have to. You don't. You know, have to do that. Yes, Brett's like love language is physical touch, but like there are other things. Like I'll give you a hug. I will give you a hug. I will, you know, like, and that's big for me. No. It's like, I can tell you all day, funny. But like, it's like, you know what?
Oh my gosh.
I can't. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to have to be selfish right now. And I just can't do that for you at this point in time. And I hope you understand.
That's funny. I mean, I think one of the biggest things for me was like, I got so many stretch marks everywhere. Like,
see, I didn't get too many. I got a few.
My belly, but my boobs, like everywhere. And obviously that's not something that's going to go away.
Right.
They're there now. And that kind of freaked me out a bit because even if I
you're
did
just
lose
like
the weight, it's like I'm scarred for life. Like, it's, I mean,
and I think it takes time to come to terms with that. It's like, okay, these are like scars from me, like carrying my baby and birthing my baby. And like, you can tell yourself that and like, that is true, but you have to like, not everyone feels that right away. You know, you can come to terms with it. Exactly. Yeah. You have to be,
and I mean,
comfortable at some point.
It's still how is my partner looking at me? Like, sure, he says it's no big deal. It's totally fine. You're still beautiful, whatever. But
is he just saying that? You know, like that's what you're thinking in your head.
Even to this day, like it's like I've never gotten thin again. I was never thin, but I've pretty much always stayed between like a 20-pound area, like since high school. Like I just fluctuate in between there. And I don't know. I've never. It's just a very
But that's
weird
the thing, though, too. Like, DJ, like loves you for who you are. Right. He's been with you, like, this whole time.
It's funny. He's like, he likes his curvy girls.
Yeah.
Which,
I mean, if
like, that's
he has
thing.
a
like,
type, you know? He likes it.
Well,
I mean, God, you guys have been together since 8th grade.
We have. I'm like,
he's seen all the body changes.
He has, and I've never been super thin. Like I've always been curvy. And like I hear him say that all the time, and it's fine. I've never been able to get that through my head.
Right. I feel like they can tell you all day long that you're beautiful and they love your curves and all this stuff, but until you can like be comfortable.
See the flaws.
Right. Yeah. Oh, and of course, as women, we all see the flaws. And like society makes it that way too, unfortunately.
That is true.
You're supposed to be thin. You're supposed to, you know, put your makeup on every day. Like I was freaking out a little bit because I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know we were like video recording today possibly. And I'm like, I don't have any makeup on. I didn't do my hair. I'm literally in like this like pajama outfit. And I was like, you know what? This is real life, people. I am pregnant. I'm tired. I don't feel great. This is life. Like just show up and be comfortable in who you are, you know?
Yeah. For sure. Well, I think we've probably hit most of the topics we can there. I don't know if we've come to a very good solution for all of this, but I think we've definitely
I think you just got to do what I think that's another thing. You just have to communicate with your partner. Yeah. Like tell them what you need. Like have them like just communicate your needs, communicate like anything that you're struggling with or whatever, and then try to like come up with like a solution or some kind of like compromise that the two of you can like be happy with. Be like, okay, I need more time alone with you. Like, let's have a date night every month. Like, if you need to schedule that, schedule it. If you can be more spontaneous, be more spontaneous. But, like, maybe pick a day that you're gonna, or a few days that you would do it kind of thing based on your schedule or whatever you want to do. Yeah. But it's like, I think you kind of have to just talk to your partner and see what is going to work with us. And, like, how can we be more, like, intimate or whether that's like, let's just go on a walk together
just more
alone.
Connected.
Like, just be more connected. Like, I think you have to just figure out what works for you in your relationship, because some people might be fine with, and like, hey, we tell each other we love each other every day. They kiss me before they go to work. They kiss me when they get home. You know, we hold hands and we put our phones down. Like, some people might have it all figured out. I certainly do not.
No,
I mean, I know
we don't.
Brett and I could put our phones down and watch a show together and try to be more intentional with that aspect or something. But I think you just got to do what works for you, because also, like, as parents, you do need time apart to decompress after work or a long day. So you kind of have to figure out those times where you can come together and when you need that time, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Well, that does it for this episode. So we will see you in the next. Thanks for joining us today on She's Got It Together. It's been a real journey sharing and laughing with you all.
We hope you're walking away with a smile on your face and a bit more confidence in your step.
Remember, you're not alone in this crazy ride called life. We're all in this together, one day at a time.
Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and of course, share this podcast with all the incredible women in your life.
Join us next week for more stories, more laughs, and more real talk.
Until then, keep embracing your unique journey and remember, you've got it together more than you think.